Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Good Hang. This is an exciting one. I'm starting this episode in Los Angeles, and then I'm getting on an airplane, and I'm flying to New York, where I go to that studio and talk to Abbi Jacobson and Ilana Glazer, the stars of Broad City, just the sweetest, most wonderful, talented women who, in many ways, helped my company, Paper Kite, grow and expand into what it is today. And I cannot wait to talk to them. We're going to talk about Broad City, the show, of course, and getting that made and what it was like to do it together. We're going to talk about female friendships. We're going to talk about, life as a millennial and how it's changed and what is nostalgia. And hopefully we're going to get to all of those things. But I always like to start these episodes with people who know our guests, who have good feelings and thoughts about our guests and want to give me questions to ask the guests. And I thought no better people to ask than the women who run Paper Kite Productions, the co-heads, the co-presidents of Paper Kite, Kate Arend and Kim Lessing, who work with me every day and who are going to join me in this studio to talk about Abbi and Ilana. So, ladies, welcome. This episode of Good Hang is presented by Walmart. School supplies, we all remember getting them. I remember Trapper Keepers and so many colored pens, but now I'm sure there's a million more things to get. And thankfully, Walmart has essential back-to-school supplies starting at 25 cents, plus all the latest tech starting at $9. Who knew? Hello Kitty pencil cases, Nintendo notebooks, food-shaped erasers, Chromebooks, keyboards, and more at low Walmart prices. They even have Lilo and Stitch headphones. Who knew? Shop Walmart.com to score their favorite back-to-school tech and supplies. Kate Arend and Kim Lessing sharing a laptop today.
That's how we work.
We just have the one. Let's all work on our laptop.
Hold on, Amy, we have to run your company 1 second.
And send.
Send.
Sorry. Okay, I'm so excited to interview you guys because we are here in the studio and next door to Paper Kite offices, which you co-run. And we're talking to Abbi and Ilana about Broad City. And I just felt like it was such a great combo because in many ways you represent millennial and zillennial.
No.
Or
Gillennial.
Gen Y? Gen, not.
I'm so cusp.
You're cuspy.
But it's not with Gen Z.
But not with the Z.
Anyway, we represent like what you two represent teamwork in many ways. And I want to talk about that. But also, what how important that show was to Paper Kite and its growth. So before we start, tell everybody what you do here at the company. What's your job?
So Kim and I, as Amy said, we're the co-presidents of Paper Kite Productions, and we are in charge of the many incredible shows and movies that Paper Kite makes. Everything from Broad City to Russian Doll, Difficult People, Harlem.
Yeah, we're producers. We don't produce as a team. We actually produce separately. And we really take on projects based on our passion for them, our availability. Like we really are, we like to describe ourselves as the engines of projects, the connectors of projects. And we really love every second of doing it.
And we've been here working with Amy for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And we'll never leave.
That's right.
She'll have to drag us out of here.
We have the keys to this.
Well, you do really have all the secrets.
Yeah.
And
they're bad. I'm sorry. I'm so nervous.
But like, I was just trying to do the math of the timing.
Oh, we both started on Broad City.
Yeah, so tell me how you started on that show and like what your memories of the early Broad City days.
Well, I actually started on the Comedy Central side.
Right.
So I was like thrilled to get this job at Comedy Central because they were making Broad City. And then I ended up leaving Comedy Central to come work with you. And I got to work even closer to the ladies on Broad City. And it was like, I knew I was in the right place because I felt like I was making something that actually genuinely represented my life and genuinely represented the types of friendships I was having.
So when I first interviewed with Amy, I had just watched season 1 of Broad City, and I remember being like, holy shit, I've never seen queens like this on TV before. Like no one's ever existed like this on television, my age, doing the kind of stuff my friends and I do, speaking the way that we speak. And my first day at Paper Kite, Amy and I did notes on a season 2 episode, and I was like, is this real life? Like, what is happening? And
That was your first day?
yeah, or maybe my second, but
I got to like send my boss at the time my notes on the cut, one of the first cuts of, I think I started on season 3 actually. And she used some of them, and I was like, I've made it an entertainment. I was like, I'm in. I was like, so happy. But we used to do a lot of like, are you Abby? Are you who's
always.
who? And
Well,
it wasn't a hard one
I want to talk
really
about it because
say.
what is so cool about the that show is it creates these versions of like friends, and much like back in the day, like Laverne and Shirley, or even the Golden Girls, or Sex in the City. Like when you start being like, are you an Abby or an Ilana? I think underneath that is it proves like the writing is good, that you've identified what version of you.
It was such a specific friendship that it was completely and utterly universal. Like you just, everyone was either an Abby or an Ilana.
So what are you, awesome. Kim?
I'm obviously Ilana because I'm like head over heels in love with Kate and always have been and always try to touch her butt. Yeah,
it's true.
It started with me being like, can I?
Yeah,
and then she's like, you're being like,
HR,
sorry. I mean, I would
arrived.
Never do that at work. That's insane.
That's not okay.
But like when we left the office.
But when we left the office,
we would,
like on the way to the
hang
cars.
out in the parking lot.
And so, Kate, you are an Abby.
I'm Abby.
She's also a deadhead.
Yeah,
right.
Totally. And we both love Oprah. So that kind of stuff.
And you guys have that crazy Oprah connection where you both like her.
So for people who don't know about what we do, right? So we're a film and production company. We do all different kinds of projects: animated, unscripted. We do half hours. We do hour-long dramas. But Broad City, we use it a lot as an example when we're talking to creators about young creators who have an idea and want to transfer it. And could you speak a little bit to how we use that as an example?
We always say like Broad City is our North Star. And
Totally.
it is the North Star. I think if you are a young female creator in comedy in the last 10 years, that's it. Like they did the thing that everybody wished they could do that men had been doing for a long time. There was truly, like we said before, no one like them. So we always refer to them as kind of they're enmeshed in our ethos as a company.
Yeah, and they have a lot of elements of things that we really resonate with, like scrappy underdogs, women who love each other, people that are like have like messy edges, and also two characters that really want something. Like what I always related to about Abbi and Ilana is even though they were like silly and messy, they always really went after the things they wanted. Like they went after with such passion.
Yeah, and they took such good care of each other, which is friendship is so important to us. We had a conversation day one. If there's any sense of competition or jealousy, we have to talk about it. We have to get it out because it will just sit in and fester and make it stressful and miserable. And communication just, we were smart enough to know then that it was the thing that was going to get us through. And today, 11 years later, it's still, we're so brutally honest with each other. And then we say thank you to the other person that we can be so brutally honest with each other. And I feel like Abbi and Ilana were like that.
Totally. And just the other day, for example, Kate was like, you interrupted me 1,000 times. And I was like, thank you so much for letting me know.
We both cried because it was so nice.
And I was like, I'm so glad you feel comfortable telling me. And she was like, I'm so glad you're going to stop.
It's true. But we talk about it a lot here. Like, a workplace is, I like to say it's not a family, it's a country.
And I like to say it's a family.
We reject that, but that's great.
And
lovers are family.
It's a bed full of lovers.
It's a bed full of lovers who are all related.
It is not.
A family of lovers.
It's a family that everyone borrowed money from each other.
That's right.
No, a workplace is a country and has its own culture and language and set of rules. And so one of the things I think that our country believes in is that in our experience, female friendships are a natural resource. They are like the most important things in our life. And for the most part, they're not like these competitive, awful, like, experiences. They're often like the most supportive experiences. And I feel like you're talking exactly about that women often come together and help each other in real time. And that help is like, like rooting for other people's success never gets in the way of your own, basically.
But it's hard to remember that
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. And I think a lot of work environments are not conducive. Like ours was easy. You're our mentor. Like it was easy to be like, let's team up, It was, but it sometimes takes a lot of work. But I think there's never a time when it's not worth it just to try. It's like reach out a hand and be like, let's be a team instead of enemies. Like
A
let's
rising
be,
tide
rising
lifts
tide.
all boats, right? Like I actually think you said that once, and it was the first time I'd
She
heard.
invented that quote, I think.
I think you're right.
Let's, I have a laptop. Let's see who can find who said that fast.
Okay.
Kim, get to work.
Can you move over? Hey, I can do it faster.
A rising
Immediately friendship
tide
possible.
lifts all boats is an aphorism associated with, it's attributed to John F. Kennedy.
There is no way. There is literally no
guy has
way.
a
That
whole
guy gets
bunch
so
of
much
quotes.
credit he doesn't deserve.
How dare you?
How? I know
He
you're
is
obsessed.
the first Irish
You are
Catholic. There's nothing wrong with JFK.
He's literally so handsome. Relax.
guys.
My grandmother had a picture of Jesus and JFK in her
Rightfully
house.
so.
we had such different grandmas.
So that brings me to $1 million advice. Because
Yes.
we're talking about the podcast that you two are doing. It's going to be, the new season is going to be launching very soon. Tell us about what that podcast is.
Okay, so our show, $1 Million Advice, is a work advice podcast where we have people call and email in and we answer their work-related questions. So it can be anything from like, how do I deal with my shitty boss, to Kim's dying for a question about what to do if your coworker owes you money.
I feel like there's questions you guys are not asking us about, like you loan someone money for something and they just haven't paid you back. How do you ask? Like, how do you ask? When's it too soon? When's it gone on too long?
Right.
Great
That's
question.
a good question.
But basically, Kim and I, because of this amazing communication and partnership that we have, we're like, we got to share this because we're in on something.
I mean, our advice is so good.
It's
That's
$1
the
million
thing.
advice.
It's at minimum $1 million advice. It's so good. And and we get each other through everything. And so many people don't have this kind of like work friend, work sounding
They don't have
board.
an Ilana to their Abbi. And
Or Kate to their Kim.
right.
Some would
So
say.
right.
So we want to be
wanna
that
be
for
that.
people. And, our first season is like full of the types of questions we're interested in answering. And we're hoping for that money question in the second one.
So we're making more. How can people send in questions?
$1millionadvicepod@gmail.com. And they can send an email. You can leave a voice note, whatever your fancy is, and we'll get back to you. And
we'll figure out if you want to call in.
We'll
if you
solve all
wanna-
your problems. We'll fix your life.
That's the thing. It's like, you're wondering, like, how do I fix my life? What do I do? It's like so easy. Email $1 million advicepod at
So
gmail.com and it's done.
Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to get in an airplane. I'm going to fly to New York.
That's great.
What question do you think I should ask Abbi and Ilana?
I have a good one.
Okay.
I think I have a really good one.
Okay.
So when you make a show together, it's like having a new baby. Like you're all work all the time. And I was curious, like, what things they did to fill their friendship cup and make sure that they were still like in love, staying in love during like the hardest, longest hours.
Great question.
I know.
$1 million advice. We're going to check that out. We're going to talk about it more. Abbi and Ilana, we're going to see them in New York. Thank you guys so much for coming across the street to this studio from our offices.
Thanks for having us.
This episode is brought to you by Uber Eats. Summer is here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered by Uber Eats. What do I mean by almost? Well, you can't get a summer blockbuster delivered, but you can get a block of cheese. A cabana, that's a no. But a banana, that's a yes. You know what I like to order from Uber Eats? Batteries. Don't eat batteries, but I often need batteries, and you can get batteries from Uber Eats. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. For alcohol, you must be legal drinking age. Please enjoy responsibly. Product availability varies by region. See app for details. You are a little raspy today because of your Broadway performances.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And I cannot wait to talk about it. It's
Me too.
very exciting. Abbi and Ilana are here today. My children, wives, sister, partners in crime. I'm very excited you guys are here. Thank you for doing this.
We're so excited to be here.
I was thinking about our talk today. There's just so many things to talk about today, and I was like so excited.
Oh my gosh.
Like I have a paper and everything. For people that don't know, Broad City was a long-running show on Comedy Central that Abbi and Ilana wrote and starred in and directed and produced and created. And it was and is like this really important show for a lot of people. And I was thinking about the last scene today. What happened in the last scene, and what were you trying to say in it, and has it lasted?
That scene came as a vision to Paul W. Downs. You remember that?
That's right.
He came in. We were writing. We wrote part of season 5 in LA in an Airbnb, and Paul came in one morning and he was like, "I had a flash of the last moment." And I think this is the scene where Ilana exits the subway in Union Square, and we've FaceTimed.
Yeah.
Right. And Ilana's walking through the city, and then the camera leaves Ilana and sees the other pairs. I just got chills.
I know.
And he was like, that was like the thing. And that was what we kind of had always talked about, which is just like we're one of like thousands and millions of pairs. And we had just been following us. But the New York of it all was like we were showcasing like, oh, there's Abbi and Ilana's everywhere.
Yes.
And we end on, do you know Marie Faustin and Sydney Washington, the
Sure.
stand-ups?
Yeah.
But to end on Marie and Sydney was so perfect just because they're so delicious and they're such an iconic pair themselves.
Yes.
But, it's so, I think what we were, trying to say is that we followed Abbi and Ilana, but everybody's, if you're in your own life, you're having your own adventures and your parties, and New York is always this like infinitely fruitful backdrop for the craziest shit to happen. I can't get over it. I've been here 20 years. I can't get enough.
No, I know.
I can't get enough.
and what it was, and I still is, and is that what you did with that ending, I think, is you gave the show back to the people that loved it. And that's why I think that the DNA cry. I love to get people to cry. I think it felt and still feels like one of the big reasons why that show sticks around is exactly what you said, is people they are the main characters of their own story. Everyone is. And everyone feels like they're living a life that feels very much like Abbi and Ilana's life. Like, how am I piecing together a life in real time? And the fact that ending was like passing the baton, it's very deep. And I think it has to do a lot with what we're going to talk about today in your work. So for those people that don't know, let's go back in time to little tiny
traveler.
babies. Ilana's 19.
Wow.
Right? And Abbi, you guys met what age and where did you meet? How did you two? 22.
This is so funny that
So
I
this is
knew this was
19 years
happening,
ago.
but
Wow.
19 years ago, my dog.
yeah, this is actually this is crazy that I did this last week. We met in a
Did what last week?
Oh, I'm gonna get to.
Oh,
in a
copy
second.
that.
We met
Ayahuasca.
I did ayahuasca last week, and I went right back there to 22. No, but we were in an improv practice group. Like, we were both taking classes at UCB.
Yeah.
I had just graduated college, moved here. You were still at NYU. You take classes at UCB, and then you're like, we got to form a practice group like after school or like at night after your day job. Our mutual friend, Tim Martin, I remember he was like, I'm in this class with these two, it's a brother and sister, and they're great. Like, can they come and practice with us? And we were like, yeah. And Elliot and Ilana came, and I was like, this girl's on Arrested Development. This is crazy.
You're like, how does she have time to get off of
Yeah,
Arrested
well,
Development?
it just ended, and I was like, it makes sense. She's in New York.
Makes sense. You have like a huge network show, and then you go do practice.
Yeah, I was like,
improv
she's definitely
groups
going to be in my practice group in New York.
basements, and just it makes sense.
Well, I mean,
It's
this is
just a
how
good
I
career
remember it.
move.
This is my side. And then we go to McManus that night.
which is a bar nearby the theater.
And we're sitting at the bar you and me, and it was like it was only guys in the group except us. And we're talking, we're like, where are you from? Where are you from? And I was like smitten with this person, like everyone that meets Ilana is. I was like, this person is unlike anyone I've ever met and not like any of my friends. And we were just like, and she was like, I'm from Long Island. And I was like, whoa, like two of my best friends from college are from Long Island. She's like, I'm from Smithtown. And I was like, so are they. And I was like, and then I said their names and you were like, I know them. And I was like, this is not the government development.
Oh my God, I'm literally crying.
But I remember you were I'm going to cry as well.
Wait, Ilana's crying? What's making you cry,
When
Ilana?
she said smitten, I started crying. Oh my gosh, it's just so sweet. And I remember, dramatically falling under the bar.
That we knew.
These two same people? It's like, we're Jews. We're from the tri-state area. Like, not that big a deal.
we're from like
but
2.5 hours away.
I was changed that Abbi knew these two people
I think
knew.
what you were saying, what was underneath that is like that the universe, it's why it's so thrilling to look back at how things come together.
Ooh.
Because the smallest changes in our lives go in a completely different way. And what you were noticing, like the universe was giving you some signs of familiarity, basically. Like it's, if
Right.
you believe in past lives, it's like,
Yeah,
we
right.
knew each other before. Like that's the universe just like making sure you have something to talk about. So you spend 5 more minutes talking. So then you spend
Right.
15 minutes talking. So then you do a show together.
Right.
Wait, real quick. So on Friday, I was in Chelsea and where I was going, I'm like confronted with McManus.
Wow.
And
When you said McManus the first time, I like almost made a joke. It's like so rude, but like a dumpster with bars, like nailed into it.
McManus,
It's not
McManus is a bar
exactly
in
a
New York
bar.
City
Yeah.
for people that are listening. That used to be kind of the place where everybody after improv shows would hang out. And it was like green paper tablecloths at the time.
and the
French
green
fries.
leather seats.
Yeah.
It's just like
really-
it's like ass grooves, and it's never been changed out. Like you're sitting in
But we were at the
our ass
bar
grooves in McManus.
because
like it's never been updated.
the people in the back were like unattainable. Like at that point, we were like up at the front, being like,
there
"Who's
was this
back there?"
hierarchy at UCB
Yeah.
that we never climbed.
Yeah.
We only climbed it outside of UCB through Broad City. But yeah, the further back you went at McManus.
Like an invisible velvet rope.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I walked
Yeah.
in. I went in the
Wow.
side door.
Wow.
Like it's crazy.
Sticky
I went in
floors.
and but we went there so much after that moment. But
Mm.
I walked in. We even shot in there. We shot like the cocktail cold open in
Right,
McManus.
right.
We needed to shoot there.
Yeah.
But I walked in and just remembered that moment I just said of you and I at the bar.
Wow.
Yeah. And I
That's
was
a
like,
real
that's
time
crazy.
travel
Yeah.
moment. And so you meet and you're like, you're not Alia Shawkat, but I will have you two be in a scene many years later in Broad City. But you say, okay, I see something in you. I love being with you. We like being with each other. And then you start creating. What do you remember like when that creative content stuff started?
like, I think being in this improv group, it wasn't like we got so much duo time. There was something like a grit that was like a tension that was not the same. The difference between us that when rubbed together, created this spark, this like difference, the differences about us that we were like, that's funny. That's funny. And I think also as women and as young women, you're kind of safer together. So it's like, you're going to cry. Yeah.
Abbi's crying.
It's, I love it. It's so good. Why do we get our makeup done? You know what I mean?
Get makeup done.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get through any questions.
Let's cry the entire time. And I'm going to get one on
tissue.
deck. Tissue on deck.
so much. I'm filled with glee.
But it's like, I think it's so much about sameness when you're young, when you're a young woman. But we were, I think, secure enough with each other to recognize our differences, and it tickled us.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond our sense of humor, that was both, Venn diagram shared and different. It was also like our work ethic. We were like desperate to make a spreadsheet,
Yeah.
And we're like, we had these ideas and we were like desperate to list them neatly.
Yeah, I mean,
Truly.
neatly, like, I mean,
Ideas.
that is, I think, a lot of like when you get out of college in that time period where you're like, I need to give myself a job. I need to
That's
be
right.
busy because I've, up until now, schoolwork has kept me busy and like the course or whatever that I've been on has kept me busy. But you're like, now I have to structure my own busyness. I have to create busy things.
Something that's coming up for me is all three of us having worked so much in food and service, you know, and there's so much busyness in that, you know,
I
it's
just
just,
texted you about Steamer's Landing.
you just texted me? Oh,
I
yeah,
was like,
yeah, yeah.
what was that place you worked? Was it actually called Steamer's Landing?
Like disgusting, even if they still exist.
I
like
bet the French fries are
vile.
good though at Steamer's Landing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But in Broad City, Paul and Lucia had changed it in a script to Dumpers Post. And I remember we were at the office and we were like first reading a script that they got back to us. I fell to my knees. Like bent over a couch, fell to my knees, Dumpers
And we're
Post.
talking about Paul Downs and Lucia Agnello, who went on, are now creators of Hacks, and who's, you know, wrote and directed and produced with you and us Broad City. So like they also have their like baby versions of this experience.
That's
too.
right.
Well, we did this improv group for like 2 years before doing anything Broad City, but it was the two of them actually who we made one episode of Broad City, the web series. And we were like, again, as Ilana said, so organized. And it was the two of them who saw it and emailed us and loved it.
The first webisode
Yeah.
came out and they
They were like,
emailed
keep
us
doing
immediately,
this, keep
separately.
doing this.
So when you guys were in your second season of this web series in 2011, I was down the street living in the West Village, and I get a text from a Upright Citizens Brigade teacher, was it Will Hines?
Yeah.
And he said, hey, check out Abbi and Ilana. They're doing some great web series stuff and they wanted to know if you want to do it. And so I watched a bunch of your stuff and I thought it was really funny. And it was shooting right down the street from my house. And you two asked me to come do a small bit. We were like running away. And I remember oranges fell on me at one point. I don't remember anything about the plot. What was the plot?
There was barely.
What was
a
the plot?
It doesn't matter.
We were running.
We were running.
We were running
and we were trying to get
toward
somewhere.
spoiler, a cookie.
The plot was very Broad City. We were running to get a cookie.
Yeah.
And then after that, as far as I remember, very soon after you sent me an email saying what?
I remember this very well. That last episode of the web series, we knew we wanted it to be the last one. It was like more production value. We like worked with this director who, it was just like bigger. And we emailed you with the cut maybe of it and said, this is we've been thinking and we want to go to LA and pitch this as a show. Would you ever consider being the executive producer on it?
We were also like kind of excited that we were like pretty much the same height. And when we first met, and it was just like, this is funny, you know, like
Yeah, we all
Kinda
love being short.
literally
Yeah.
seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, well, we might send it to Jonah Hill. And we knew we were going to ask you, but we weren't going to ask you on the spot that
I'm
day.
just here to say it was a genius move to say you were going to send it to Jonah Hill.
Girl.
Incredible move.
Girl, your face, I will
If
never
you hadn't
forget.
meant
She
it,
goes
would
like
you
this.
were like,
She goes,
no way.
that's what you did.
I remember being like, whoa, what? I remember just being like,
She was like pissed, immediately pissed.
immediately like in the race, like
Yep.
taking like immediately because I am competitive. But I remember thinking like, no, Jonah Hill can't have Broad City. Like so,
And this was not a ploy.
No.
We really
Yeah,
were like,
yeah, I think we were like, whatever.
Jonah Hill. You know what I mean? Whatever. But like, you know, but I remember your expression, you know, and
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I just
I remember just thinking later, like, you know, it's always smart to. It's like in relationship,
Yep.
it's okay sometimes to be
Yep.
like, you're not the only one circling here,
Right,
honey.
I'm dating, babe.
I'm dating.
Yeah.
You think I'm just waiting around?
Yeah, I'm
dating.
not monogamous. Okay, we're open. Yeah. So you sent me the email, and I was like, "Let's go, we're in," and we started developing together. And
Wait,
then,
can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Your response to that email, I think, was the biggest celebration of the entire 10
Yes.
years.
I
Like,
remember it was on my, I think I
Oh, I have
called
chills.
you.
and I was like shooting some short
and
film
she was
upstate.
like upstate in the middle of nowhere. I was like, Ilana, you clearly didn't open your email. And like we were freaking out. I was like, I think I had to leave a party. I left a birthday party. It was like, it was
Honestly,
crazy.
because-
That was it.
I remember all the other milestones, but you saying you were gonna, that was like your hero believes in you. That was crazy.
Oh, I'm glad
And then you
feel
remember
that way.
we met. Okay, you were like, well, let's meet about it. And we're like, okay, let's meet about it. We met before we met. for like a good hour. And we were like, okay.
Just to like pre-vomit, you know what I
we
mean?
were like, yeah. And we were like, what's it going to be? Like, it could be anything.
Just in this hallway, like before we met, I was like, this forever kiddo, Amy Poehler, like you could just picture what your parents saw you as in the doorway at 8. Like you're always that like, hey, you know, and like the way you just walk down the hallway to greet us, that was how you walk down the fucking street. She's like, hello, you know, like all sunshine. You're wearing these like cute sunglasses and a dress and it's just sunshine and this like, ooh, you're like your like heart is on your sleeve and it's you at 8. And we were like, that it was surreal. That was like really like trippy, gloopy. The whole lunch was like as though I was tripping my balls off.
Meeting after it as well. Lana and I spent the whole day together around the meeting. Because I remember we were like, she watched every like you came with
comes with a legal
you were like,
pad.
we got to make a teaser. We made the teaser from the web episodes and
The legal pad going through our silly little webisodes, what you thought of each one. And we were like, mama. We were like, what is going on? The thoughts and the, I don't know, real opinions.
And we were at, which I'm not going to say where, we were at a restaurant where we were like, this is clearly Amy's favorite restaurant.
Got like, you know, those like sort of.
I was like saying hello to everybody. Hello, George. How's your wife?
Oh my
Diane.
God. And we're like, we'll just get toast. You know, like we don't
Whatever
even
you
know how
have,
to
whatever you
order at
usually
this
get.
time.
Yeah.
You know, what do you get? Well, we'll get that. You know, like just not even knowing how to have like be a person
It's
around.
so funny. I mean, I have just nothing but like exciting bottom of show mountain memories of it. And, you know, the reason, one of the many reasons why I'm so thrilled that we're talking today is like, to put it in perspective for me, Broad City made me feel like a real producer. I had been producing on Parks. I had produced other things and stuff that I had done. And, you know, we had technically produced our UCB show, even though we didn't know what that was. That was what we were doing. And our sketches at SNL. But Broad City felt like the child that made me the mother. Like, and it's still, when I think about it, I feel so proud to have been along for the ride and just being helpful in any way. But I learned so much from watching the two of you. I learned so much from like trying to advocate for the show. I learned so much about what kind of stuff I wanted to make.
I'm just gonna fully cry now. Oh my God. This is it now. It's just, oh my God. And then plus the voice, it's like gonna seem so insane. But it's like, dude, like it's just like you, I don't want to cut you off.
No,
But
please.
it's like, you know, I remember this one time that we had lunch or whatever, and like you talked about the sexual politic of the show, and I was
yes.
like, politic.
And then I remember like,
like,
then,
no.
then we'd be like out talking and I'd be like, well, what we're really trying to do is the sexual politic of the show.
Oh my God! Can I have like a full tissue? This gross half tissue.
But talk about sexual politic for a second. I've said this before. Immediately what I learned, and this is why I love, like the best thing about getting older is like being less and less certain about everything. If you're doing it right, you just know you're supposed to let go of the grasp of the things you think you know. And that is what I think young people do, young people younger than you do. And even just the very simple way in which you guys approached your own bodies in space, your own bodies in the show, the way you approached, I mean, I remember very specifically saying, you know, if you don't want to get in your underwear for this scene
In the pilot.
if you guys feel uncomfortable, and you're like, we wrote it, we are the ones writing that we're in our underwear, and we're so comfortable with how the dynamic is in the scene. We're so like, thank you, good looking out, but you're kind of missing the point in a way. And there was a lot of that for me where I watched how you two reminded me of like what was like an old story or like old programming. Like I think it's what Broad City did a lot and still does.
I will say on that, I don't know how fully comfortable I was in those scenes, but I think that was also like, okay, over here we wrote it and I like loved it so much, and I knew that like Abbi as actor will have to deal with that when we get to the day. And for me, that like I feel like that like Broad City was in a moment for me of like a little bit later like huge growth. Like I feel like I grew up a little later. I'm gonna fully cry. Like and in so many ways because of Ilana, which is so like the Abbi and Ilana. That's what's happening.
We're all in like such
it's what's happening. Like the
luteal phase.
confidence. Like
Like I think first of all, like
but the confidence like of that dynamic of like Abbi is the insecure one and Alana's got this like bravado. And that's like something that I was like learning right alongside the character because that was real.
Yeah.
You know, like us being sorry, I'm laughing. We are. But us being the hottest women in like any room is like that was like not how I approached going out. And I would go out with Ilana as a friend and that would be like, and I don't know if that was like a fake it till you make it, but that was like the charge of like, yeah, you know, we are. And my ass is the hot, like my ass being a hot thing was not something I ever thought we'd focus on so much.
I still love it.
And then I was like, I only through Ilana, like that among many other things was like such a huge change for me. And I think like, so like us being in our underwear, I was like able to be like, I might not be comfortable, but like I know this is so right and this is so powerful and like so funny.
I mean, I think that's what female friendships at their best do is they provide this the opposite of a funhouse mirror. Like they provide this like beautiful mirror that you get to look in and see this version of yourself that your friend sees. And you're right, that's aspirational, it's kind of manifesty, but it is like you are sexy if you say so, and you're beautiful if you feel so, and everybody is beautiful and sexy and in their own way. And sometimes you just can't, you have to have like a surrogate feel it for you.
Yeah.
And that's what you do for each other in female friendships. And that's exactly what Abbi and Ilana did constantly. It's just, and it's good for comedy. Like pumping each other up is funny.
Oh, it's so funny. And, you know, to the point before of what I was saying about sexual politic, you just validated us as women, not as girls. Everybody called us girls, even the people working for us, you know, they called the girls, whatever. You called us women at such a young time where I was like, damn, I suppose we are. And then, you know, like with comedy, I mean, it's just the fucking best. Comedy is just the fucking best.
Why is it the best?
Because it's like, it's this cosmic container that just lifts you up off the ground of like the systems we're rooted in and just connects people so efficiently. It's so efficient, you know, just whatever. Obviously farts are the funniest. Someone farts.
I disagree.
Really?
I'm not the biggest fart is funny fan.
Like if somebody farts in a context where they're not supposed to, you don't giggle?
I don't think... Ish. It really depends. Like that was actually a big thing for us on the set of Parks and Rec because like people would fart and I'd be like, don't fart.
Just like in life?
Yeah, like on set.
No, I don't like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm
I
talking
mean, if they accidentally fart, I feel a little codependently worried about them.
No, I mean like if somebody farts as a joke to invade your space with odor, that's not cool.
That's like sibling.
Yes. That's like not
that's shenanigans. We don't like that.
Well, when are farts?
Well, okay,
funny?
so I remember a good Broad City fart. I'm meeting your parents. It's at like your Shiva, and Bob Balaban picks me up, and we're adding a fart there.
That's what I'm talking about.
Did I change your mind?
I'm talking about professorial, like masterful fart comedy.
That was really thoroughly thought out and intentional.
But you're right. A little squeeze that comes into a little
like
but
it's
we
cute.
added it.
It's cute.
Maybe
that's right.
It. Maybe if the farts
fart.
are cute,
and
like
also
if they're cute.
Oh, for sure. But I'm also talking about like adding a sound effect, or
we did add the sound effect.
Yeah.
We gotta make that
it in post.
I hear you. And then just to stay to get us on the air, you write a script, we go to FX, we try to make it at FX, they pass. And we kind of have a moment where we have to regroup.
I remember just going back to what you're talking about, maybe like when you felt like producer, I remember you would be the one that would have to deliver that news to us.
I did. I learned a lot.
Yes, that was
in real time. I was learning on the job. You know, I was like all of us. Like you sometimes fake it till you make it. You have to kind of pretend. And I remember thinking, Right. My job here is to never let anyone feel like, we're not going to solve this problem, because that's just you're supposed to keep the ship in the water, and and other people can steer it, but you have to make sure it doesn't sink. And so I remember not quite knowing where we were going to go next, but feeling like I needed to make sure that you felt like we were going to go somewhere good.
I think we did.
And you did. Yeah. I'm remembering now another lunch at a place that we never would go, but we were like, totally, we'll meet you there. and it's going to be chill. Balthazar. Anyway. So we like met for lunch. Oh my God. But you were like, so, lucky for us, Comedy Central had wanted us, which isn't always the case. And you were like, FX is like a cold boyfriend. You don't even want them.
No.
Anyway.
That would never
You
chase.
don't want that boyfriend anyway. And it was like, yeah, I don't. Yeah.
And that time, Comedy Central, maybe to let people know, we were in such good company.
Oh my
Who else was on the air during that time?
Key and Peele.
Key and Peele,
So funny.
Workaholics, who had a similar like web to TV.
Amy Schumer,
Kroll.
Inside Amy Schumer, Kroll Show.
Maybe Nathan For You.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Right toward
Early
the
Nathan
end.
Fielder. Yeah, it was such an incredible time. Why do you think it's it's like sprung back in this way right now? It must feel good to have people still come up to you and say they love it and say who they think they are. And
It's also like such a newly, as we are like becoming like literally middle-aged adults, it's like such a sweet connective thing when people talk about it. When we were younger, they thought we improvised it. We were like, we work so hard to write this over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just improv, it's slapped together, and that we're like stoned, like if they're meeting us on the street, that we're stoned in that moment or whatever. And
They
it's like,
think you're stoned?
we think we're the characters from the show.
Yeah.
And like what it is now is like, it's just reached this like such a warm, sweet, like bed for connection.
I don't know if you experience. I mean, when we haven't for a second been like out together, but that's a whole other thing. And people are like, "What are you guys doing on the street together?" But like my wife Jody, like she's like, "This is unlike anything." Like to have someone witness it, she's like, "You get this, this wild positive affirmation like coming at you."
Mm-hmm.
That is so rare.
Mm-hmm.
That is like I feel very thankful all the time for that.
Before we move off of the Broad City section, I do want to, just for like people that are big fans, hottest day on set, coldest day on set. Any memories of like when you were very hot, very cold?
Everything was so sweaty, literally sweaty.
And I don't know why I was always wearing skinny jeans, so really added to it.
Babe, it was the time.
Ilana sent me something where like something happened and I was like,
you know what's going to
What are
happen when
we
you know what's
wearing?
going to
What
happen
are
when
we
you're
wearing?
70. This is because this is now started to finally happen. Skinny jeans are going to come back around. And people are going to be like, this is so cool. These really tight skinny jeans. And you're going to say, I used to wear, it's wild. Like,
Here's hoping.
Yeah,
I don't
because,
know, but maybe.
I mean, remember skinny jeans? I mean, what, I'm trying to think of like
they're still out there. They're
jeggings.
still going out.
Jeggings.
I still see people in them.
Yeah, I see
Yes.
millennials being like, fuck you. I don't care. I'm
Yeah.
wearing skinny jeans. I feel organized in
Absolutely.
them. And I'm like, get it.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's just now it's like all the way around to if you're wearing skinny jeans, you're a confident person.
Yeah.
You're,
But I also had these straight down bangs for a lot of the show.
Yeah.
And I remember they'd just be fully soaking wet. It's so hot.
Sopping
that, like,
wet bangs.
Marcel would have to be like, we dry the
blow
bang.
drying your
Yeah.
bangs.
That's so funny. That is so funny.
Guest stars. Who comes to mind as people that when you just like pops in your head is like, oh, that was a fun day. That was a good moment. There's so many great people that came through the show. Like,
RuPaul just cracks me up. He was so like studying his lines and
Yes.
saying them to himself that I was like, damn.
mm-hmm,
And I would say Kelly Ripa.
mm-hmm.
I mean,
Oh.
just the way, just her being that version we wrote of her was wild.
She
like
was
that
so
Kelly Ripa
excited.
was
Too. Like her
Yes.
joy was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like she really wanted to be there and it was like so contagious.
And do you remember Lady Gaga tweeting about the show? How important that was?
Yeah.
Yes, we were in the writer's room.
That was a season
we, like,
2, end of
crazy.
season 1.
And she was like, oh my God, they used my song. My favorite, I think it was like my favorite show used my song.
And we met her. She like asked us to come, or invited us to a performance, and we like went on her bus. And like the thing she was,
You went on her bus?
yeah, it was
You
like right
did.
outside
That was
the like performance or
crazy.
whatever. And she was so kind, being like, you remind me when I watch your show, I feel like I'm not famous and I'm young again, and like just running around the city before all of this, which, she was clearly grateful for, but also was clearly quite heavy.
Yeah.
And it was so many years ago. It was like before now she's like such a woman.
Well,
in
it was so
control
many
of
years
it
ago
all.
we
Joanne.
got her song. I mean, how did
That's
we
right,
even
it was during
afford her
Joanne.
song? How did we
How
afford
did
her
we
song?
do that?
I have no idea.
We paid for it, but how did we
I
get
think
it?
she liked, it was like if someone involved liked the show, someone's manager or something. I don't know.
Whoopi came and did a
Whoopi.
BG.
wordless
That's right, she
background
did
role
background.
as Sister Mary Clarence.
Yeah,
It
that was wild.
insane.
That was wild.
And I remember like meeting her and being like, and she comes in the trailer. She is such a badass, like so herself, the same. She's exactly who you'd think she is. And I like we were just like acting totally cool. And we were also in stages that were like illegal and like an abandoned building essentially. And I was like, well, she was like leaving, and I was like, thanks so much. It meant so much to me. And then she left, and I like immediately like turned around and wept and like cried in rubble, in like Bushwick rubble that we were filming in for some reason. Because she was so, not only did she do our show, but like such a real ass bitch, such a like a comedy girl, real woman.
Oh my God, Shania Twain. I think about that a lot actually because we got her to say, "Man, I feel like a smoothie."
I think about that
So
a lot.
game, so game.
She was like, that was like so crazy. Yeah.
She did that for.
I mean,
You're pointing at me.
You.
Oh, well,
I'm like, that should be a show. That was the bear.
we
yeah.
did the bear before,
Before the bear.
you did the bear before.
We did the bear
It's
before the bear.
true.
You're right. And for people, there was a scene where I was in the back of the kitchen, and there was a whole drama with me and Seth Morris. Another,
You guys were
which was
exes.
We were
Brilliant.
exes, and we just created a little bit of a thing.
So good.
And you're right. You know what? The bear stole.
Yeah.
The Bears
I agree.
stole from Broad City.
Yeah.
You heard it here
And
first.
you directed that.
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
So we do this thing where we talk to people about our guests before they come on. And I was really trying to think about who I wanted to talk to. And what organically came up for me was Kim Lessing and Kate Arend, the producers, co-heads of Paper Kite, have worked together for 10 plus years. They are millennials, and they started when Broad City was, I think Kate's second or third day was we were doing notes on like episode 2 of Broad City. So I asked them what they would want to know from you. And from a workplace perspective, they were curious, how did you two keep your relationship, your actual intimate friendship healthy while you were working together? And like, as you've gone on to work on other things, like how do you keep your workplace healthy, knowing what you know now, and how did you do it then too? How do you like to work, and what do you bring into your work to keep it healthy?
As incredible as it was to make Broad City, it was like we would like always make sure to have a little time up top to connect and catch up. LOL, catch up from 12 hours ago or whatever it was. But like, but like it feels like so, I don't know, so human to now have dinner and just be, lately we have been like crying so much. It's so like juicy and delicious and nutritious and sweet. But at the time it was very much slotted in to catch up. And things would always make their way into the comedy, which is cool, but it's not the same as it being its own, just for the sake of its own beauty, you know?
And I think we knew that the catching up, it was like the catching up was essential for the thing. Like we knew that like it's so derived from us. So like we had to kind of like catch up and be like, okay, write that down for this thing.
What helped you during those times? Like, what was the stuff you like? Did you pick your battles? Did you?
Well, I think like something also was like, I'm thinking about it too, because like there was tension, like rise and release of tension constantly. And I think like a lot of it was like boundaries and space and being like, see ya later.
Yeah.
And like taking the space.
We didn't like hang out. I think when we were doing it, we weren't like, we would see you on Monday. We weren't like
we
as
weren't
our
hanging
friends
out
anymore.
as friends.
No.
During Broad City,
No.
we couldn't.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you had to put that a little bit aside, just like not let it atrophy, but not give it a lot of oxygen while you were doing the show.
Yeah, it was very like after school club. You know what I mean? In that it's like this thing of like slotting in 45 minutes to talk before we focus. It's like it is so like it feels so beautiful now to like just not have a task at hand, you know?
But during that time, even though we weren't on the weekends, I would be like, you know, if something was happening, I'd be like, Ilana, I'm going on a date. Like, what do I wear? It wasn't like, don't speak to me.
Sure.
It was just like, after truly like 12, 14 hours of Monday through Friday, we were like, let's not do dinner on Saturday.
Who did you go on the date with and what did you wear?
Well, I do. I honestly will remember. I remember like this is post Broad City. I saw you the day before I met Jody.
Oh my God.
And I was like
Your
telling
wife.
you what I'm gonna wear.
Your beautiful wife,
Yeah.
Jody.
And like Ilana
Wait,
was like,
tell
"What should I
us
wear?"
that story. You
Oh my God.
were going on a date with
We
Jody?
were in LA and you were staying at Liz's house and I was like, I'm going on a date. By going on a date, it was like so deep COVID. She was like coming over to my house to the patio. And I was like, I think I'm just gonna wear like I know what I wore. I was like, I think I'm just gonna wear a sweater and like black. I don't know. Like we were still
Sweater.
doing that. And you were like, yeah, like don't do too much, you know?
Totally. What you wear on a date's really important.
Yeah.
Because it
Says a lot.
says a lot.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm not excited. I don't care. I want to have sex. I don't want like
Yeah.
there's a ton of things happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it worked because you bagged that babe.
Yep.
You have a
That's what
beautiful
I said.
you bagged that babe. That babe
did.
was obsessed.
And y'all are so beautiful and romantic. Like you're such a beautiful couple. Oh my
I
God. So like
know.
also hot.
Hot.
Hot as fuck.
Beautiful. And both of you have had a very busy 10 years. You become a mom. Both of you have gotten married. Like you've both done a ton of different projects that you're writing, creating. Like there's so much that's happened. And I guess I was curious, like Ilana, motherhood is a big creative center in a lot of your work. It's you talk about it a lot on stage. You made a movie about it, Babes. You have this way in which you're like peeling that onion a lot. And what's it brought? How has it expanded you and your work?
It just has organized everything for me appropriately. Things are just like in their right place now, like in my heart. And it's been so creative. And work also like is work. It's not and it's a creative context, but it's not like how I figure out who I am. It's a part of who I am. Yeah, I just feel correctly organized.
That's very cool. Ab, what about the
That's
past?
very cool.
What about you, Ab? The past 10 years with all the different projects that you're working on and worked on, how has that like changed your creative? Because, I mean, I'm curious about you as a fine artist too. I mean, you come from a fine art world. Like people don't know for people who don't know in what way do you express yourself that way? And is it always changing?
Do that much anymore.
You're
Like,
good at drawing, girl.
I thank you.
Do you want me to say it?
I did. I
You've
went
done
to
two
art
books.
school.
You went to
Yeah.
art school.
I went to art school, and I'm a big like goal of mine would be to get back into painting and have like a show.
What do you like about painting?
I think I'm in my head a lot, which I think is something that we really bonded over.
Yeah.
And it's very meditative for me. But like I've painted 2.5 paintings in the past 2 years.
You should say you're the painter that makes one painter a year, and then everybody comes and watches you
Right.
finish it.
That's
That's what
it.
a guy would do.
I know.
That's
no, I'm
right.
dying to do it. Like I think it's just like
He'd be like, it's
Yeah.
like so
He'd be like,
cool that I
only one a
only
year.
do
He'd be like,
this much.
I only do 2.5.
Yeah.
And everyone would be like,
this-
he's a genius.
Yeah, a withholding genius.
you're right.
Yes.
God, he's
It
genius.
takes me a whole year to do it.
Exactly. And can I ask you about Prelude?
Yeah.
Can you talk
oh
about
my
it?
God.
Because
yes, I forgot I told you all about. Oh, and you did the thing.
I did the thing. Do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, we're in the thick of it right now. Okay, so Prelude is this fellowship program I created with Mika Tennant, who's like my partner. And it's an 8-month program where there's 10 fellows that we select. And it's early career storytellers. And so there's 10. We set them up with mentors. and there's ongoing programming they have mentorship every month. We have programming every month that I run the programming every month. I have people come in and talk where I ask them questions. Amy kicked it off, which was like, they still talk about that. They still like cannot believe that you came.
Of course.
And so I'm realizing that like for me, like the success is that they have confidence in themselves. And that's like the best that we can, like that would be like my goal. They all leave feeling like they have confidence and that they know that like someone believes in them, which like truly just to go back full circle, which is like what you did for us. Like, and I said this to you on the day, I'm going to cry again. When I had you, like that, you believing in us and what we were doing, like I think is what like has fueled us to do everything we've done since. And I'm like, if I could do that for them, that is, yeah.
That is so cool,
So
Abbi.
awesome.
And it really does feel kind of like I know,
my God.
crying again.
Yeah.
Everybody who's listening, crying again. And I just want to ask about Good Night and Good Luck because, Ilana, it's very exciting. Like a Broadway debut it's such a singular goal. Did you have it? Did you ever have that goal? Did you want to be on Broadway?
Like,
I am accentuating the way.
Broadway, I know.
Comedians, a bunch
I
of
believe
comedians
it's supposed to be Broadway.
talking about Broadway. It wasn't really in my, like, I didn't think about it as, especially since I had a child, it's so time consuming. Like, and since I've like kind of got my stand up and touring, like now I like get it, how to do it, how I do it. Like, so Broadway, like you're so like in someone else's control. I just hadn't thought about it. It was such an incredible experience. You know, it reminds me of Broad City. And then also before that, the early days of comedy, you're just seeing the same people night after night after night. George Clooney was the co-writer and star of this
How is our man
performance.
George?
Oh, an angel.
An angel.
He is an angel. He is my
class act.
hero. He is my hero from like the personal human being to the public figure. He is, oh my gosh, it was such a privilege to perform his writing.
And you know, Ab, we don't have to get into it, but you had a beautiful relationship in League of Their Own. What was the best takeaway of that show?
I was just talking to Darcy about it.
I know, the great Darcy Carden.
The most kissable.
I know, and just so
It was so
makes sense.
she is kissable. It's so funny because I was like, because I kissed Paul so much on Broad City, and then I was like, I guess I'm gonna kiss another one of my really close friends.
Listen, we kiss our friends.
But it also
we
is
kiss our
like I
friends.
found like I don't know, like I don't know. I think I'll do that forever. Of like I'm in love with my friends, and like there's already that chemistry there.
Yeah.
But I guess in the middle of Broad City is when I was like, oh wow, I think I like women too, which was like obviously Ilana was like very much there for me during
yes,
that.
of course.
And then I was like everything else, I want to put that in the show,
right.
and that was very much in the show with Clea, who like that was so fun, and I was so happy that lined up to get to have that on Broad City, and it was like truly us like getting to explore what was happening to me was happening with Abbi, and like differently but the same, which was incredible to be able to do that. And then on League, like I loved making that show. It was very hard in a lot of different ways. It was a period show. It was like baseball. It was the inner workings of Amazon is not Comedy Central. There was a lot more money. And at the end of the day, I was like, I'm writing this ensemble, and everybody like it is just a bigger sort of like friend group. And so I was like that, like to expand that into like a group was like incredible. And then to get to write this love story with Darcy was like, it was a dream.
People really responded to that relationship and that story.
Yeah, it's been a really cool, it's kind of like on the street kind of thing. I'm like, I know which one you're gonna say based on what you look like.
And having made comedy for so long, what's your relationship to comedy now? What do you watch, read, go to? Like, how do you make yourself laugh right now? What's making you laugh? Who's making you laugh? Like, what's the place when the world is getting really intense that you like? Where do you escape?
I have a hard time.
Yeah,
Like
me too.
and so I have two things, but I don't. I have a hard time finding them, so I'm very interested. Okay, so I just saw this. I just last week I saw Kate Berlant's new show
Oh wow.
The
at
great
the Bell
Kate
House.
Berlant.
I mean,
Oh, she's so
I haven't
funny.
laughed that much in a long time.
Oh, so live Kate Berlant, recommend.
She's on tour, I think, starting now. And then the show I'm watching that I'm obsessed with, that like Brooke told me about.
Yeah, Brooke Posh.
Brooke Posh.
Who instrumental in
Yep.
in the early Broad City.
Big Boys. You
Big
seen Big
Boys?
Boys?
No,
Guys,
nothing. Okay, hold on.
It's
Googling right
so
now.
good. It's on Hulu. It's from the UK.
Okay.
It's so, and it's like the mix of like it's so funny and really heart. Like there's heart. It's like it got me.
Okay, so it's a sitcom.
Yeah.
Two boys from very different ends of the spectrum of masculinity become best friends at Brent University Freshers Week. In their first year at university, they explore, experiment, and try to discover themselves.
Yeah. I never read the description. That's what it is.
All right, and Ilana, what are you listening to? How do you check out or laugh or?
I've been really. It's like I want to see Kate's show. I really love like what my friends are making, like hacks. I still
Yes.
have to catch up on season 4, but that's been really killing me in like a good way. Where I'm just like, oh, this is so good and so funny. I'm like living. I'm dying. You know what I mean? And also the last time I laughed so hard was at Oh Mary.
Oh my
I
God.
just
Yes.
died. I'm like starting to get into like old movies though. I just watched Prince of Tides.
Okay,
Like
not
Barbra
so much
Streisand?
funny.
David wants to watch all of Barbara Streisand stuff because we have like biographies of little for little kid books, and we're like looking at Barbara and reading her life story, and we're like, let's just watch the catalog.
Oh,
and,
my God.
and she's
David,
like, she's
that's
so
a
stunning,
sweet
dude.
man.
her
there.
nails in Prince of Tides.
She directed that.
Yes.
She directed
Did
it.
that.
and
And Nick Nolte.
like the gorgeous.
Yeah.
And to see, first of all, she's so hot and beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking up in Wikipedia and doing the math. She's like 53 in it. And she directed herself and is like, yeah, I'm fucking gorgeous and so Jewish looking.
Would she say like
She's a
Prince
psychiatrist.
Would she say like?
Lowenstein.
Would she say
Lowenstein.
Prince of Toids? Would it be Toids? Toids.
She would.
Oh,
It's just like, get it, bitch.
Get
like,
it,
fucking
bitch.
get it.
no kidding.
She has a bio that just came out. Autobiography.
Oh, yeah. And you
Yeah,
should
yeah.
hear her do the.
The
Yes,
book I heard
the
was
audiobook.
incredible.
Yeah.
She's incredible,
Yeah.
Barbara. We know you're watching
Yeah.
and
Is she
listening,
gonna come
Barbara.
on?
Please come, please.
Dude,
That would be a dream.
such a good
Yeah.
guest.
Barbara, when Tina and I did the movie Sisters, her husband James Brolin played
Yeah,
our
right.
dad.
Yeah.
And my parents visited the set one day, and my mom was like, "I wonder if Barbara Streisand's ever going to come." And I was like, "Mom, Barbara's not going to come visit." You know, on Long Island, the set of Sisters, her husband is an actor, and she did. And it was the day my mother was there.
Fuck yes, dude.
Wow.
She came to visit, just came to drop by to
that's-
see her
now that's the
gorgeous,
universe.
loving husband, James. And my
Hell
mom was
yeah.
like, I told you. And I was like, this doesn't happen all the time.
That's
Don't get used to
awesome.
this.
Did they have a moment?
They did. I mean, they had like a little hello. She was lovely and very lovely to us. And you're right. We don't talk. Barbara, when you come on, let's talk about the things you've directed. I want to talk to you just as a director.
Like truly, it was so cool. And you know, learning like how to light yourself as a woman in your 40s and your 50s and your 60s. Just like make it soft. Just like feel. She is like irresistible. We were just like, she is so hot.
I had a Broad City moment the other day it felt very Broad City. Speaking of lighting yourself, as I was shooting something, and I was looking at the monitor, and I said, "Can I just take a peek to see where you are at with lighting?" And the young director of the piece said, "Oh, don't worry, you look great." And I was like, "Can I give you a little feedback?" I think when women, especially my age, ask for the monitor, saying "Don't worry, you look great" is not helpful. Like it's not like we're being vain or insecure, or like we're just like trying to tweak just what like we would our voice or performance. Like we have a sense of like how we're gonna feel comfortable and how
Yep.
we want to come across. Like
Yeah.
lighting is a big deal. I don't think this person understands. I think he's actually trying to make me feel better.
I totally get it, but it's just like LOL, bro.
LOL, bro. I mean, OMG, LOL, bro.
And then a little.
Did you get to see?
Huh?
Did you get to see?
Of
finally?
course,
Okay.
of course.
You just
I
all you
mean,
do is you go like this.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the move.
it's always, and this is very Broad City. It's always like, how much in the moment do you want to like correct, and how much do you want to just like, it is. I mean, I think what we're talking about today is the reason why people love the show is they feel like there's like people looking out for each other, sticking up for each other, taking care of each other. There's a community in the show. There's like a vibe. And then what that does, it allows you to do that for yourself. Like that's, and then you become your own advocate for yourself.
right.
That's what the characters
That's
did.
right.
I had a Broad City moment on Saturday too.
Ooh.
I don't know if it has a big culmination like this, but I went to a premiere and I went alone. Okay.
Ooh.
Which is wild. And then I went to the party after, and I was like,
Wild.
I'm gonna schmooze, and I'll know. And I knew someone, and I was like, okay, we're eating, we get a bite, and then we're going up to the bar. I was like, let's get a drink, and we go up to get a drink, and they were like, you know what? I don't want to hold the martini. I have to pee. I'm gonna go pee, and I was like, all right, well, what do you want? I'll get it, and I get the drink, and I was like. Oh, look at me at this this premiere. I get the 2 martinis, and then they never came back. And so I truly was like, I was like standing with 2 dirty martinis, and I was like,
Looking like a true
and like
drunk.
people would come up to me, and then I told Jody later, I was like, oh God, like people would come up to me that I knew, and then people would come up to me that love Broad City. Me holding the 2 martinis, and I was like. I'm fucking Abbi. I'm like fucking Abbi. And I was wearing a thing where like I kind of had to keep adjusting it. Finally, I was like, this one looks better. And I was like, started drinking. I was like, I abandoned. And then
Yeah. How many minutes would you say that you were double fisting martinis?
I would say too many.
Give me a number.
I would probably say 20.
Yo!
Yeah,
Okay.
because you're.
Well, I
mean,
was like,
your
she's
brain
gonna
is
come
like,
back
she's coming
here,
back.
and what am I? And then I was like, this is a good martini. They made it. Like they made it. I didn't pay for it, but I was
very
like,
Abbi. Like
it was
they
so.
made it.
They
It's
made
a
it for me.
nice
What am I gonna put?
martini.
I'm gonna waste a martini, and
then
then
they're
I was
watching
like,
me, and I don't want them
yeah.
to think that I'm
and
not
then I
drinking
was
it.
like, I abandoned it,
In
and
the
then I
spirit-
was like, I'm leaving.
In the spirit of like self-improvement, if it was 20 this time, how many minutes will you give it next time?
There's no world in which I'm getting the drink when someone goes to the bathroom
0.
next time. I think I'd be
That's
like,
a good correction.
I'll see you when you get back. I'm gonna get myself a drink.
And
That's
Ilana,
right.
have you had an Ilana moment recently? Is there something that happens where you're like, oh, this is an Ilana moment?
Oof, I have one that I like can't say that I'll tell you after.
Ooh, you
It's
can't.
so
I want to
naughty.
know
It's
it.
naughty. Oh,
Yeah, it's really
Ilana,
naughty.
tell us.
Have you had an Abbi moment?
Us filling it in might be more fun. Kind of like what you were talking about with your show. Like us filling in what your
Oh,
Ilana
yeah.
moment
It's like
is.
dot,
might
dot,
be dot, babe.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Okay,
but I'll tell you after.
Okay. Well, it is. I love you too. Thank you so much for doing this. I
We
love
love you,
talking
Amy.
about
We
the
love you.
show. I
You're
love
our
talking
hero.
about what's next.
You always were. You always will be. Not, oh, Amy Poehler, she's an icon. No, from the fucking in the flesh, delicious, forever 8-year-old person that you are, mother that you have always been to us, big sister, just friend. You're just incredible. We're so
Thank
grateful.
you for letting this 8-year-old be your producer.
She did it. She
Oh,
did it good.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Abbi and Ilana. Thank you for coming and doing the pod. It was so, so great to talk to you. And it's just a delight always to see the two of you together. And today's Polar Plunge is brought to you by Wayfair, here to help you make your home your happy place. So as we plunge today, I just want to remind everybody about the podcast that Kim Lessing and Kate Aaron mentioned at the top of the show. 2 women who run Paper Kite Productions, the company that is my production company and that made Broad City and many other things. They have a show called $1 Million Advice. And we would love to hear your questions about your workplace questions that they can answer. So please send them in to milliondolladvicepod@gmail.com. milliondolladvicepod@gmail.com. And also, head over to wayfair.com and find something that's just your style today. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Bye. You've been listening to Good Hang. The executive producers for this show are Bill Simmons, Jenna Weiss-Berman, and me, Amy Poehler. The show is produced by The Ringer and Paper Kite. For The Ringer, production by Jack Wilson, Kat Spillane, Kaya McMullen, and Alea Zanaris. For Paper Kite, production by Sam Green, Joel Lovell, and Jenna Weiss-Berman. Original music by Amy Miles.